Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I don't have a big long video for you. Still messing with this carburetor. And I was out of town today, so, but hey, here's what's been going on. I've been working late in the shop in the last week or so, and Laura's come over last night, kind of late. I was like, man, I'd really like to get that power steering pump, at least try to figure out how to get that pulley to quit, pulling off that shaft, because my dumb butt hung the center hole out too much. But I have figured out why I've done that, okay? So let's take you through that and show you what we got done. All right, here we go. All right, so when you push on or press on and pull off a power steering pump and pulley, I'll get it in a minute. You use your little power steering pulley off and on kit, right? And I wasn't paying too much attention when I done this. So I push this thing in there, right? And every time I'm trying to press that pulley on, and I'll show you here in just a second, this kept like not wanting to do its job. And I was like, all right, I got the darn thing too tight. So I kept going in, honing that little hole out in that sleeve and honing it out. Finally, when I got it too big, which I mean, it still works, but it is not like it needs to be. I was like, finally it goes on there. Then I get to looking at this. Here, let me turn you around. So what had happened is, it's not stripped out, but you see where some threads pulled? This is from an old pulley off of I think it was a 350 replacing in my truck, or an old truck I had. That's the last time I used it. It pulled the threads out of that pump. And I didn't even look at what it was. I just grabbed it out of the toolbox, man, and shoved her down in there, right? But every time I was trying to push on it, instead of the pulley being too tight, this was pulling out because it didn't have nowhere. It was just barely catching in the, the threads in the pump. So what we did is I got a tap, run down in there, clean the threads up where that thing had screwed it up. Got that straightened out, found the bolt stick in here, Loctited that thing in. So this is not going anywhere. We put a spacer behind here because I had this little sleeve right there. It's supposed to be sticking out about a 1/16 in front of that pulley in front of that shaft for this thing to be completely straight with that blower pulley. So there's a little spacer we made and stuck under that. Now all we got to do is, as you can see right here, she's sitting over this way, but I wasn't paying that much attention when we put this thing in. It was late. She's hanging over here, so we'll never be able to get that pump pulley back off of there. So we got to take some bolts out, these two bolts right here, because they're just from like right here to right there, and just take a die grinder and clean it up, and, kind of put a little angle on it this way, because all we need to do is hold that sleeve on. And where I was beating that thing on there the other night, I boogered up these two bolts. I need to get two of them and replace them. But I think that's going to solve our problem. Now, it doesn't spin on the shaft, but when we was tightening that thing down last night, if you try to hold on to that pulley and tighten it, you can feel it not really, the pulley's it slips just a bit. So I'm not sure what that sleeve does, right? Or the pulley, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure if that's still going to be a problem, and we won't know until we get the engine actually running and be able to, play that power steering pump back and forth and see if it spins on the shaft. Another thing I should not have done, and I did it just trying to not have a rust issue, is build that thing out of stainless steel. People think stainless steel is hard. Stainless steel is not hard. Matter of fact, it's pretty darn soft. The thing about stainless steel is it's tough. I mean, you can just twist that stuff and it'll just right back where, where it goes. But it's not hard, right? I mean, you can take a file and cut it, sandpaper, whatever. So I probably should have built it out of some cold rolled or some hot rolled steel. But hey, we're going to stick this thing on there and, see what happens. Cycle that steering wheel back and forth. See if we have any play. I mean, we're going to mark it with a marker, right? And see if it spins any. When we, lock it this way and lock it that way. Because that's when you're going to have the slippage, not just driving down the road. But the main deal was keeping it from coming off that shaft. Because it was driving me nuts. But this is how something as simple as this can screw your whole darn little project up, man. It was my fault. I should have looked at it, but I hadn't used this thing, I bet, in 20 years, right? And I didn't remember that till I pulled it out, till I started looking at it and go, oh, I remember now, right? So kind of keep that stuff in mind, guys. But there's a little update on what's going on with the trash truck. We're still waiting on another carburetor to get here. The one that first responder sent me, I found a bunch of good parts in that I can use. But we're still missing one or two that I need. And hopefully the other carburetor gets here, it will have what it is I want. I mean, I got everything right now. I can do what I need to with it, but it'd be nice to have. It's kind of hard to explain. And I'm not going to show you that on video. I'm just going to put the darn thing together and give you all a video of the thing running. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. But that's it for this video. Like I said, I've been out of town. Really ain't been working on the trash truck, man. Been covered up in the shop, or not really covered up, but trying to knock a bunch of crap out and get some money in here. But hey, there we go. I put the video out. At least I got one up there. Hope you got something out of this. And like I said, before you go messing around, check your tools. If you ain't used something in a long time, take a good close look at it before you start working with it again. Or, stupid stuff happens when you just don't pay attention. But anyway, hope you got something out of this. Hope you enjoyed it. I think we got the power steering pump fixed onto the carburetor. As soon as we get that done, we're gonna fire this thing up and shoot out another video on it. And hopefully the engine's done. Anyway, till next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you on the next one. Everybody take care. Stay home and safe. We'll see you in the next one.